And here we are. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if everything is fine. I can close this now. I was just wasting time with the old files. So, first of all, good morning to everyone. And in the meantime, good morning. Let me open the email because today I want to start by answering a very simple message from one of you, but I don't want to show you who is the student who sent me this message, because it's too funny. Good morning. Oh, too many messages. That is this one. Okay, because I want to start by showing you something very simple. There is one of your classmates simply asked me how to make, this is the message, just to let you understand my life. So, the classmate sent me this drawing, and he asks, sorry for another question, how to do the triangle with incline. So, what does it mean? So this is the message. I'm pasting it into the chat so that you can read it with me. This is the message. Sorry for another question. How to do the triangle with incline? I mean, anyway, your this classmate basically showed me he wanted, by using another sketch, so we will make first of all something practical, and then today I want to show you some little tricks in Inventor to let you see there are small details, but in a long term and with very complex project, these kind of little tricks can result extremely helpful. So, but just to show you something practical, I want to show you, because this is the message he sent me. That is, he wanted to make something like this. For what I understand, this is something. Hello, look who's there. I mean, so this is the problem. Some anonymous classmate sent me, okay, without doing any name, without knowing that this classmate just joined the chat. But okay, so I can tell you who is. So basically, let's see how to make this happening. That is something round. It's something that has also a wave all around. The way I did it is basically something like this. First of all, the thing is round. So what I can understand is that I have to think about doing something related to revolve. But it has this also repeated pattern, that is the wave that goes all around curvy thing. So I have also to include something related to the polar pattern. And basically the way I did this is very simple. Look, I have to make a new part, and what I have to do is, also let me reopen the sketch, not this one, the other one, this. So I will start by creating something related to this wavy part first. Basically, I will just do this. Look, I select my front plane, so the one that I have like these, and I will draw a simple extrusion by creating a sketch. So I will simply make a triangle, and I will use main axis as symmetry axis. So I will make this line here, and I will turn this into a center line. Then I make one angled line and half of these of the base of my triangle. Then I select both. I make mirror. I choose the mirror line, this one, apply, done, and I have my triangle. I'm not going through dimensioning because it is just a 3D model example. So I will finish the sketch and I will extrude this triangle so that it will become something like this. But I will make it very long. I don't know how much, so I just make it super long. After doing this, what I have to do is I want to make them in a polar pattern, so in a circular pattern, that is this one. So what I will do is I select these, I select the feature, but right now I have no control into the rotation axis. So see trick number one. In Inventor, when you create reference elements, we have mainly seen that we can create planes, and we have seen that there are multiple ways to create planes. So we have explored most of these features. But what is interesting is that in Inventor you can also create references that will be axes or points, and these kind of objects can be used whenever your feature, so the tool that you are going to use, will require you to select axes, points, or planes. In this case, I want to create an external axis so I can use the same axis for multiple features without needing to create each time a dedicated sketch. So for example, I will create a new axis that will go from this vertex to the midpoint that should be somewhere. I have here. Perfect. So I have a work axis. Whenever I need to make something that will be round, revolve, circular pattern, and so on, I will be able to select always same axis so that I can be sure that all my rotations are happening from the same pivot point. So now I will simply select again circular pattern, select the feature, click on the axis, select my work axis, boom, and I have just to select, as you can see this is going to work, I have just to select how many repetitions I want. These are 6, let's see, 8, 12, why not? And this is how my pattern is going to look like. Okay? From the sketch, we can see that this thing is also tapered. So it's not cylindrical, but it's like a upside down cone. So what I will do is now, I will basically do this. Look, I use my front plane, same that I've used for the triangle. I will make another sketch here, and I will draw this simple sketch that is, I will make this line, I will make this line, and I will angle this line, and I will close my sketch. If I go to view and I go to wireframe, just to show you, look, this is the profile that I am creating. So it is a closed shape, it is tapered in one side, it is perfectly vertical where I want my rotation axis to be. Okay? And I click finish the sketch. What I will do next is, I will go back first of all to visual style, shaded with edges. I will revolve this thing. So I go to 3D, revolve. This is the sketch. I select the axis and I can click work axis directly from the menu so that it will be perfectly the one that is on my project manager here. I can see that this sketch is a little bit too big in here, but that's fine. But the most important thing is that to make this lower part of my shape here, I will select not join, not cut, but I will select intersection. And by leaving intersection, what happens is this, that I basically leave only that part of my geometry that was at the same time inside that revolve solid and my circular pattern. Okay? I have just to fix a little bit something here that could be either changing the revolution, or easier, I will simply make my triangle a little bit larger. So let's see if I can quickly make this is 17, let's say 20, just a little bit larger, so that perfect, all my triangles are all touching together. Okay, I have almost done. What I have to do is I will make a second revolve, and I will do something spectacular. That is, I want to reuse this feature here, this sketch, as a starting point. So I will copy the sketch, and I will go to my front plane again. I will make another sketch, and I will paste it, so that I have not to redraw exactly what I've drawn before. I will make a small adjustment. That is, if you see from this not that very detailed sketch, you can see that inner part is a little bit smaller. So what I will do is, starting from this sketch, I will select, let's say this one is fine, the top, let's say, is fine, but this one needs to go a little bit inside, so I will make this as a construction. Then I will make an offset of this one. Okay, perfect, and I will simply delete these parts. Okay, so that I will extend this up here, this down there, and I will trim this part, I will trim this part, trim, and again I go to view, I go to visual style, I go to wireframe, just to show you that basically starting from same previous sketch, I've just made one that has same dimensions, but it is just a little bit narrower. Okay, and I could make it even a little bit narrower, or not. No. Oops. Go to sketch. Let's say now a little bit, just to make it more visible. Okay, and I finish this second solid here that I will revolve again. So I go to just view, shaded with edges, sketch, 3D model, revolve. This is perfect. Select the axis. I don't know, I know that I can select it from here, but I want to be sure that I select my work axis so that everything goes all around my object. By selecting same objects, I click OK. Boom! And I'm done. To make my wavy thing, the only thing that I need is I have to use fillet, so that I will select the top, and this will go like this. Let's say I can make it I don't know, 3, Perfect. And take care, because I make this fillet once, and instead of selecting edge by edge all of those, due to the fact that all those triangles are a circular pattern, I will make fillet, that is a feature, I will make it repeated as a circular pattern as well. So I go like this. This is my feature. I click rotation axis, working axis, but I have to select 12 repetitions, and you can already see into the preview that this is going to make exactly what I'm expecting. I click OK, poof, and all my and all those vertices or those triangles are perfectly rounded. And I will do basically the same down here. I go to fillet, I select this edge so it becomes round, I click OK, and then I select the feature, I click circular pattern, select my beautiful working axis, and again I just need to match the number of repetitions. It's 12, and I click OK. Boom! And this is, I mean, it's not exactly same shape, but this is how that kind of shape should be done. Basically, what I can do now that I have created this infrastructure basically for the shape that I want, I can start adjusting pieces of this geometry to have my final shape. What it means, if I want to make, let's say, less depth in here, the only thing that I have to do is I have to select the revolution, that is the one that is making my intersection. I have to select this simple sketch, and I have to drag this line here, click OK, and it will decrease the size of that revolution. If I want my waves to go higher, the only single point that I have to change is I have simply to select the sketch of my triangular extrusion, and I have simply to select this point up here, and I have to move it up. So for example, I will add a distance, and I will call it, I don't know, I will change it to 40. I click finish, and my triangles will become more pointy, and then they will be higher. Okay? But I want to show you something that is even more unbelievable when you start working and you really want to go in depth inside Inventor. But first of all, just to make sure, are all clear steps that I have done till now, or there is something foggy or something that you would like me to show you again? I mean, but are these steps clear, first of all, for all of you? Because I'm using this just as example, not because today I just want to show you what one of your classmates want to do. But till now, is everything clear? Perfect. Also, here I'm seeing that now I need to crop Perfect. So let's see more, because now I want to show you a few interesting things. Look, let's say I go to I have made now in this sketch, I have made these two dimensions. If I select them, by the way, and I double click each time to change their value, I can see something like this dimension is called D16. That's okay. This dimension is called D6. That's okay. But what I can do is, this is a little bit hard to see at the very beginning, but if you look in your Inventor interface, let me also open the pen here. But if you look to the Inventor interface, up here, now I have completely deleted, but up here you can find something that is called, looks like this symbol here, that at the very beginning makes no sense, because it looks, this kind of symbol in general has the meaning of function, and in general people are scared about function and math and stuff like this. So what this thing is instead, this is a place where we can see all our dimensions used in our features, and this basically is called project parameters. And why this is unbelievable, and something that will, in my opinion, will make Inventor becoming extremely easy to be used, simply because in here not only all parameters are listed, and they are listed by default with their automatic name, but what is also great is that you can change them. So what I want to show you is this. Look, let's see, let's place it here. This parameter here, that is height of the triangle, is called D16, and it is 40 millimeters tall. And if we read parameters, we can see that we find something called D16, we find something that is 40 millimeters, but not because of me, but honestly, it becomes really tough to remember that D16 is height of the triangle, and then D6 is the base, the width of the triangle. So you can start doing a couple of things that are, first of all, you can click here, consumed by. Consumed by simply means that instead of listing your parameters by their automatic name, you can list them according to where those parameters are. And because my triangle is inside a drawing that is called Sketch 1, I can start viewing that in Inventor. I can see that D6 and D16 are inside Sketch 1. Then I have these other two dimensions. D8 is fillet 1 radius, that is the fillet for the top of my triangle. Fillet 2 is the radius for lower fillet, and so on and so on. So this is first kind of interesting way that Inventor will give you to help you understanding where these numbers are and what you can change if you change these numbers. But there is more, because you can, when you want to really be precise in Inventor and make your life, believe me, easier, you can start doing these two operations. That are, you can either rename your parameters. So if this is my triangle height, I can rename these by calling it triangle height. Let's say H. That's fine. Then I will rename this 6 and I will rename it triangle width. Then I can rename this parameter and I can rename it like low r, like low radius. This can be made instead like top radius. Then I have extrusion. This is not important. This is because my extrusion goes straight without any angle, so I will leave it like this. This is the amount of extrusion. For example, this is how many degrees my circular pattern is doing, and this is how many repetitions I have for all my circular patterns. So look what I can do here. Starting from my first circular pattern, that is, I've made 12 triangles all around. I will call these, how many I want. Okay? Just for me to remember that this is how many triangles I want. And even directly from this dialog box, I can look, and this would be fantastic. Can you see that now I have written 3 times 12. I have written 12 repetitions for how many triangles? 12 repetitions for top fillet. I have selected 12 repetitions for my lower fillet. But they are the same thing. So if I want to make 13 triangles, this would be sorry. This would be very annoying because I have to write 13, 13, 13. Or I can directly here change these, and instead of using a value, I can write equal to how many. So I basically add a function, an equation as is written here. So if how many is actually 12, the circular pattern will be 12. But if this becomes 13, this becomes automatically 13. And I can do the same here. So I click inside this parameter. UL, I don't know why, but believe it or not, UL means numbers. So UL, I think, means unitless, if I'm right. So it means just how many times, how many repetitions of that particular parameter you want. So I will click here, and then I can click, here, I will click equal to how many. So now, if I change how many, that means how many triangles I have, automatically all my circular patterns will change. So I will click done. I click finish the sketch. It was just a case that I was inside the sketch, because now, see this, even if I am outside here, and it is pretty annoying that when I change something that is on the top of the list, like my sketch, Basically, all other objects are hidden, okay, because they derive from there. But instead, if I use parameters of my feature, I can simply open this dialog box now. Ready for this? Because this would be just a lot of fun. I want my triangles higher. Good. Change this parameter, make it 60. Done. No, it's too much, because probably 60 then is not compatible. No, what a epic failure. Let's say make it 45. At least. So 60 probably is too much, and then something won't work. Or let's see, slightly more, 50. Yes, it works. And you can see that by having always an eye on the entire object, I can just modify my parameters from here. Let's see if the repetition work. I'm very curious, because let's say from 12 I want to make 8 repetitions. I don't know if it's going to work. This is not working. I understand. Let's say 13 repetitions instead. Let's see. This was working instead. Basically, probably by making 8 repetitions, the only thing that doesn't work is my lower fillet, because I make my objects very far from each other, so that edge doesn't exist anymore. So, but this is just a real-time example. If I make 16, fantastic, and you will see that the shape adapts to parameters that you are controlling, no matter where they are. And also, what I want to show you is that, as well as renaming parameters, instead of just using default names that Inventor gives, there are always D and then a number. You can as well rename your parameters, and you can also rename all of your features to have a better understanding of what those features are. So, for example, I can let's say here I can exactly make one click on the name of the sketch, and I can call it triangle. Okay, same thing for extrusion. I make one click and then one click on the name, and this I call it like 3D triangle. It looks a waste of time, but when you have instead a lot of steps needed to create a very complex part, this way to manage your objects will help you out understanding what all of these things are. Because can you see that, for example, I have 1, 2, 3 circular patterns. What I can do is, instead of just call it circular pattern 1, 2, and 3, I can select these, make one left click over the name, and I can call these like triangle pattern. I can select this second circular pattern, make a left click, and I can call it top fillet pattern, and I can do the same here, and I will make it low fillet pattern. If you ask me also why I use underscore instead of space, I don't know if you want, if you are interested in this, or you just don't care. I mean, let me know if you are curious about the reason why I'm adding underscore instead of space. You can say, Marco, we just don't care. I mean, but just let me know. I mean, just for fun. But what I'm showing you is, if I rename also these features, my parameter dialog box will automatically be updated to this one. Okay? And what is, I mean, how can I explain? What is fantastic from a pure nerdy point of view is that inside this particular dialog box, no, space are allowed, but believe it or not, look, because I come from a generation, no, you can also use space, like lower fillet. No, spaces are allowed, but there is one simple, I mean, this is just me, that is because I come from a generation that has used the PC when there were the operating system called MS-DOS. You need to know that 34 years ago when I 34 years ago when I started using computer, yes, in those eras spaces were not allowed. And if you tried to write a file name with a space, let's say Marco space another name like FDA, space wasn't accepted as a character, basically as a letter, so the operating system used to automatically change the space into a weird symbol. I don't remember exactly. It was probably %20. So %20 is a way that not Windows, DOS used to think about the space. Believe it or not, 32, 30, 34, 38 years after, this thing is still true. And if you have ever seen, have you ever typed, for example, web address, like a website with a space in the middle? Have you ever seen that email addresses and website addresses, they have no spaces? Technically they can, but if you try to do something like this, your web browser, let's say if you write www.marco space something else, when you hit enter, that space is automatically translated into something like this. So because I know that a lot of softwares will struggle using the space, I had just a way to think that is, just pretend that you can't use it and just add this underscore. It's a very old school method, but believe it or not, it works all the times. So And I was saying something like this. Last but not least is into the parameters dialog box. Not only you can manage parameters, but if you need, for some reasons, you can also add parameters. So I can add a numeric parameter, for example, that I can call Marco. And I can say that these will be 5 millimeters. Or I can add other things. In general, this is for numbers. 5 millimeters is a dimension. Okay, let's say make it 40 millimeters. I can click done. Let's say if I make a box, I select my plane, I can, instead of the number, I can write Marco, and even for height. So even inside features, whenever I have parameters, I can also write them. So believe it or not, this is a Marco box, because the length, the width, and the height of this box are managed by a parameter that, instead of creating the sketch, creating the dimension, and then turning that into a parameter, I can also create parameters before and use them into my features later on. So in this way, see this, because that is phenomenal. If I click parameters and I have Marco down here, I can see that, and this is beautiful, Marco is used as D19, D18, D17. There are actually box width, and I can also rename them box length, box height. I just click done so that this will update next time that I open it. See this, sorry. And now you can see that Marco is clearly used inside those elements that are box height, box length, box width. And if I just change one number from here, I make it 80, and I click done, boom, my box becomes bigger. Okay? Is it clear till here? And another parameter that I can add instead is just a number. So if I want, I can also add another parameter. And if I want, I can click unit type, and I can check that it can be length, can be mass, can be time, can be angular, velocity, volume, or it can be unitless. I was right, it's unitless. So for example, I will just write 12 unitless. And why? Because then I can, for example, make all my patterns, I can make them with managed by this parameter here. There is a unitless parameter. So how many there is a parameter can be controlled by another. So whenever I change these, I change all those features that are managed by this single parameter here, and I have my 12 repetitions, and so on and so on. Okay? Is that clear? Let me know. Let me see. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So, wait a second. Okay. Perfect. Let's see something more now, because if this was clear, now I want to show you something that would be a little bit more complex, but I think that would be interesting as well. That is, now that we know that we can deal with parameters, let's see something a little bit more complex as an example, and at the end I will also one very simple extra feature, that is how to make drawings. I mean, just give me 3 seconds. So save now. Let's open an assembly. Which one? No, let's make an assembly. So look, see this, because it has to be phenomenal, so I don't want to just make weird things. So look here, I will make 2 simple parts. That will be one box. No, I want an extrusion, yes, just to give you a better understanding. So I make an extrusion that will be something like this. Okay, nothing fancy. Okay, and I will extrude it. This will be like a rail. Okay, now let's see this. Oh, sorry. So someone asked me now, one week before the final project, could you tell me the final project for CAD inventory? That I missed that. So first of all, send me this by email, because I need to understand which kind of homeworks you have made, which things you have done, and then I will send you by mail instructions for the final project. There are also, let me see. If I go to my Google Drive, because I want to see if I can quickly. So, Marco, inventor. No, there is not a PDF. Okay, I will do, give me 3 seconds. 3 seconds. Because faster way is to find the video where I have explained what to do as a final project. Video. Published. Inventor patterns, final project instructions. This one. Okay. So, first of all, this is the video. If you watch it later, this is the video where I've explained in class what to do as final project. And what is interesting is that this video is a video that is 1 month and 2 weeks old. So it is 6 weeks old because I gave your final project 6 weeks ago. So try to do your best. Okay? First watch the video, then let me know if it is clear or not, but by mail. Okay? If you have additional doubts about the final. So what I was saying now is this. I have created this part. I will save it and I will I want to use this in inside an assembly, and I will call this rail. Okay? If you have seen, no problems by the way, if you have seen, I haven't used any particular attention in drawing this rail, and I have made this on purpose to show you another interesting way to work in Inventor. But what I want to do now basically is this. I will make a simple sketch before, so to let you understand, I want to make something that will slide on this particular object. So it has to be something that, for example, will be like this, like that. Okay. Ooh, what a sketch. Okay. It has to be like this, so that this piece can slide along my phenomenal rail. And I have no idea how large this piece here is, how large this piece is. I mean, I haven't used any particular attention in making my piece, but see this unbelievable way to work in Inventor. When you want to use assemblies and you want to create parts that are directly coming from existing pieces. Look, because this, I mean, it's just too cool to be true. So look, I make my new assembly. I make a new assembly and I place just my rail that is somewhere here. Perfect. I place it and I just have this object, so press escape, close everything. I'm done for now, because in my assembly I have no other pieces right now. Okay, but see this. First of all, I like to use view shaded with edges because I want to see where my things are. So now what I can do is inside the assembly, I go to assemble up here and I can click this feature here that is called create. Okay? When I click create, I basically create a new part, and you can see here that I'm making a new standard part. I have to specify the name of my new part. If I want to change the folder, because if not, it goes directly into the same folder where my previous components are. For example, I will call this object thing. So the thing that slides on my rail, and I click OK. And I have to select, let's say, a plane where to start. Okay? So now I have that these are my planes. So I am using the origin, not the origin, but I'm using my existing part inside my assembly as center of my new part. Okay? I can make several things, but I want to show you something phenomenal that is not only I will just quickly redraw. Not only I want to make this thing, and this will be easy because I can just snap these points in here and then my life is done. I mean, not my life, I mean, my life will be so easy, but I want to make something more interesting. That is, instead of just drawing this piece, I want to make a piece that if I change the shape of my rail, I would like the shape of upper thing to change automatically, and I would say dynamically, when I adjust the rail. Because if not, if I don't do this, I will change the rail and my shape will remain like this. And I have to manually stretch it and change it and so on and so on. And this, I mean, this would be just a waste of time. I completely miss the point of using a parametric CAD if I have to manually fix everything. So see this. What I will do is I am making a new part. In my new part, I will start by doing something very weird that is also a feature that 99% is hidden in Inventor that happens here. Look, while I am inside my new object that is called thing, can you see that you are basically in the same environment that you are when you create a part? I mean, nothing different than that. But can you see here the modify tab, where we always use, like, we've seen holes, we've seen fillet, we've seen chamfer, we've seen shell. I don't remember if we've seen combine, but probably yes. We've seen split, and so on and so on. So look here. What I want to do is I want to open this menu, because as you may see here, there is a triangle, and this triangle means that there is something more in this toolbar, and I will use this hidden feature that is called copy object. So what I do is I bring a copy of my rail inside the part that I'm using. So I will select the feature, okay, but the only important thing that I have to select, believe it or not, the only thing that really matters is I have to be sure that I am using the option called associative, and I click apply. In this way, I take a copy of my rail and I bring it inside the part. The thing that is called associative means that this orange thing is just a reference that is linked to the original rail part. And what it means is that if I change my original rail part, I will also change this copy of that part inside my element. Okay? Is it clear? But now check this. By having and by using this as a reference, what I will do is now I will create a new extrusion. I will make a sketch starting on this plane, and on purpose, just to show you, see what I do. I make this sketch pretty wrong. Okay? Because I want to be sure that this shape must be related to the part that I'm using as a reference. So what I will do is I will be sure that I will add constraint to this shape by adding relationships here. So I will use, for example, collinear. So I select collinear and I select these must be collinear with that. Boom. These must be collinear with that. These with these. These with that. This with this. I'm almost done. This with that. This with this. You can see that except the height, that I don't mind fixing it right now, but I can simply now tell that no matter how is my rail, but this thing will perfectly match exterior and interior shape of my rail. So I click finish the sketch. I will just extrude it, and I want to go to the other side. Perfect. I click OK. I save these and I go. And before going to return, the only thing that I would do, not because it is really important, but just for visual purpose, is my part contains this copy in orange color of my rail. So the only thing that I will do before clicking return is I select the copy that is also showing me this symbol here that is adaptive, so it is always linked to the original one. I will just uncheck its visibility just to hide that orange thing, and then I click save just in case. Return. Boom! And look what I have here. Now I have this part that is drawn. Save reminder. Save it just in case. Cool. adaptive. Yes to all. Yes. So this part, I mean, is not also sticked to the rail right now, but it is only created in order to perfectly fit the rail. But it is created, and poof, look, it goes back in here. That is phenomenal, isn't it? And this is because there is these there are a few kind of relationships automatically created. If I want, for example, there is flush, but if you see, for example, flush means it is sticked to the object, but if I want, I can also add an offset to the flush. So for example, I can type 40, and this will move, or I can simply delete these. Okay? Now I want to show you more things that are, first of all, I have this object here, and I want to, let's see, I want to copy, and I want to paste it. So I have copy and just Control V. No, or I can duplicate. Where is duplicate in here? Okay, I mean, don't duplicate anything. It's okay. So what I want to show you is that these things are perfectly matching, and the thing that I want to show you is that they are adaptive. So see this. If I open the rail and I change it, so if I select this part and I open it, let's say, and I adjust it, so I select these points and I exaggerate, I make them like this. I click finish, I click save, I close it, in here, why this is not happening? In here, let's see, I should, no, why this is not happening? Ah, yes, sorry, I have just to click it. Phew. I mean, I thought it was going to look like a extreme failure, but it said no, it works. So I just click it to select it, and you can see that I have changed that part, and because I have an adaptive copy inside, boom, it is perfectly changed without using any parameters, just geometric constraints, for example. Okay? And what is also cool is that even inside an assembly, you can have parameters. So you can add the parameters directly into the assembly. For example, if you want to start locking certain dimensions, like the height of this thing and the rail in here, okay? So you can create parts after making assemblies. So for example, I can place now another thing, okay, escape. This is, instead of being the one that is created, this is placed, okay, and as you can see, it still has this feature, so it will perfectly match my rail. It's just very annoying to the fact that has this thing visible, so I select, I edit this part, and I simply right click and uncheck the visibility, and I click return. So while this one is already sticked to the rail, this one is not, but it is still following adjustments of my rail. Let's check. I edit this one. I edit the sketch and I make it again narrower and make this narrower. This is very not symmetric anymore. I click finish, I go to return, and you can see that boom, these two things are changed according to what I'm changing into my beautiful rail. Okay, is it clear till now? Because I want to show you one more thing related to this feature that it will blow your minds, honestly. So till here, is that clear or not? Still waiting. Perfect. I mean, I couldn't be happier than now. So let's see these. Very good. So let's see these this last example in using adaptive components. See this. I will make a constraint, for example, so that I make this is mate with that. Perfect. And then this will be instead here. Apply. Okay. And last but not least, this face will stay here. Apply. Boom. Okay. And now I have this. I have these two objects. One is the one that stay there. I will keep it as it is. I don't really mind. This one instead has been constrained. It has this flush constraint. It has this mate, so they are opposite. So for example, can you see each time that I select down here a constraint, I have this number appearing. This is the offset that I was explaining. So now that this is more clearly visible, look, if I make flush, but then I add offset, for example 10, I will see that these two planes will really remain parallel to each other, but instead of being perfectly matching, they have a distance that can be positive, as well as, if I click flush, can be negative, so it can be, let's say, minus 10, or whatever. Or it can go, let's say, from 0, that is perfectly fixed. Okay? So see this, because, I mean, you must be honestly ready for this. Look. By being inside my assembly, I will create a new part and I will call it, I mean, it would be nice, I don't know if, let's try, this would be a little bit long, but if it works at the first try, it would be a masterpiece. So I will call it spring. Not like the season, but because I want to make a spring. And I will make face, let's say, this one. Okay, so check what I want to do. I want to make a spring that basically is a coil that has a circular sweep. Okay, so what I want to do is actually this. Look, the spring can be made easily by using coil, by using then sweep, or I mean, let's try to do it. First of all, I need to place the axis of my spring, so I will make, like I did at the beginning, I will make a new working axis, and I will make it, let's say, from where? Let's say this vertex to this vertex. Let's say my spring will be here, and this is first. Then I have to make a circle, so I will make a sketch, and I will make a sketch by using this face of my object, and I will make a circle. Let's say 0.5. Finish the sketch. Great. And now, let's see if I can quickly do a coil by using the profile that would be my circle, and the axis will be this axis here. So it looks like it is working. There are some minor adjustments that I have to do. First of all, the direction, it has to go from the opposite side, like this. And also, I want that the coil needs to be exactly as big as this distance is. So I have to go to coil size, and instead of using pitch and revolution, I have to use revolution or pitch, let's say revolution, and height. So the height, look, I will do something just to show an example. The height is a number that gives me this parameter. Revolution is a unitless number that shows me simply how many turns my coil will make. So let's say 20. Okay? So if I click OK, failed. Why? I'm so sorry, what a mistake. But this sketch is actually wrong, because instead of being flat, no, I'm so sorry. Sorry, just 3 seconds. But I have to make my sketch not on the horizontal plane, but on the vertical plane, because if not, the coil won't work. I'm so sorry. So I apologize, but it's here that I have to make into the top. I have to make the circle. So sorry. So I will do it here. 0.5. 100% sorry. It's totally my fault. So I make coil, profile, axis, I honestly feel it was going to fail again. Let me show you first. No. I mean, it is failed because, again, I had three possibilities: the front, the top, or the side, and I should select the side. So just because I'm picky, be so nice, give me last chance. So I make my 2D sketch in this plane here. Oh, finally. I had 3 options: top, front, left, and I made 2 mistakes. That is a world record. Okay. And now it will work. This is the axis. Boom. And finally it works. Okay? So this is a simple coil. But what I want to show you is that now the coil has one parameter, that is the height, that is a number. What I want to do is, I want to simulate that the coil can extend or be compressed according to the fact that I can shift those things inside my rail. And this is why we need to know parameters, and we need to know the fact that we can include objects inside our part. Because what I will do is this. I will change a little bit my spring by copying this object and these objects. So the extreme objects, and I will leave them associative, so I click apply and I have them. In here, what I will do is I will create a sketch on the top of this plane, and in this sketch I will do something very interesting. That is, I will project this edge, I will project this edge, so that I have elements, and I will add something that is slightly wrong at the beginning, but I will add a dimension from these projected edge till this projected edge. Inventor will say, look, but those are already there, so adding a dimension will result in something wrong. Wait, let's check. And as you can see, this message that says, look, this is technically wrong because you can't change that parameter. This is called a driven dimension, and I will accept it because I know, and you can see that the number is between parentheses, I know that this is a number that I can't change, but it depends on where those objects are. Okay? But what I will do is simply, I go to my parameters. I can see that now this parameter, that is a reference, is something that I can't change, but I will call it distance to remember. Okay? Now, see this. Can you see here? This number here is 50 millimeters. Can you see that this is the height of the spring? So what I will do is I will simply tell that the height of the spring must be equal, oh here, sorry, no, the height of the spring must be, the value must be equal to that parameter that is called distance. I click done. A cyclical constraint. Why? Let's do it in another way. Let's open the coil. So, sorry, I have to finish the sketch. This is my problem. Sorry. So I open the coil, and here where I see height, I will type distance, or no, why? This is unacceptable. It should perfectly work. Why this is happening to me? I mean, this is... No. Yes. This is fine. This is fine. Now, this is a disaster. No way. I'm so sorry. But it should work perfectly. And I don't understand why this is not happening. Because... Yes. Distance. Ah. No, what an epic failure. No. This shouldn't happen. Distance. A cyclical. I've never ever seen this message in my life. No, none of these. Tolerance, doesn't matter. Coil. Wait a second. I mean, why? Coil size. Revolution and height. Let's say pitch and height. I don't know, I'm just changing. Distance. Because here it goes. Fine. No. I'm so sorry that this is not showing as it should be, and I don't understand why. Let's remove the visibility. I mean, this is the sketch. Let's see. Because of the number of rounds, let's try. Let's say 10. And here, distance. No. No, what an epic failure. I'm so angry right now. You have no idea. You honestly have no idea, because no, rounds are the same. Wait a second, probably it's the sketch instead. Wait. Let's delete the sketch with the parameter. Give me 3 seconds. Okay, let's do something more instead. Let's see. Inside the spring, let's see. I can create as a reference. Let's try another method, because believe it or not, I need to win this competition between me and Inventor. So let's say I create a working point here. Let's say here. And another working point here. So that I have this as a reference. Then let's see if I can, okay, I have these 2 working points. Perfect. So let's see, I make a sketch here, and I project, and I make the distance between this point and this point. Let's see, this is a try. It is a driven dimension, I know. Okay. Let's see. I'm a little bit scared now, but I like it more. So let's see now. I go to coil, edit. This driven dimension is called D20. Let's call it please work. Okay, now I go to coil, I change coil size, and the height must be please work. And then want to see. Oh my gosh! It works! So the problem was that it simply didn't like having the sketch, but now it likes the fact that I have just 2 points. I'm so happy right now. You have no idea how happy I am. So I will just return. Oh my gosh. Phew. So this is what I have. I have that. I mean, it's not touching. I could be more precise, but I have that this object here as its distance that depends on this distance. If I'm right, if I change this object and I change the basically, and I change the fact that this can slide, if I'm right, I should simulate that the spring will be compressed. Let's hope. So this is flush, that is 0. If I make 10, I should change the distance. And it doesn't change anything. Why? Whoa, whoa, whoa. So select the spring, double click, return. No, this is against me. Edit, isolate, free, show. No, why? Because this is adaptive. This is changing. Why is not? No, I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry. Should be a lot more interesting. It should work, and I don't understand why it's not working. And it makes me so angry. Because this is not moving. No. Anyway, I will fix it because let's stop it here. I don't want, I mean, it was a masterpiece. Oops. What have I done? Oh, nothing. Okay. It was a masterpiece. It should beautifully make the spring. I've done this so many times and I don't know why this is not working. So you have two options. Or you make me generic questions, or if you want me to try to fix these, let me know. In the meantime, I will try to fix it. Fix. Thank you. So let's delete this. So we have two beautiful, and we have these visibility. Okay. The thing is, why when I move it, let's go back to return. Okay, Okay, now they work, because if I open the spring, the thing is there, but the point is not moving. Okay, we are almost there. So let's remove also these 2 points. Let's see how can I quickly make a parameter that basically links this face and this face. 3 seconds. So let's say if I go to spec, no. If I make a plane, I can pick, because the idea is picking this plane, that would be this, and then let's see, I can make an offset. Nope, no. I will make another plane parallel through this point. So if I'm right, but now I have basically lose the fate. I've lost the fate. That is, now I have these 2 planes. Okay, and if I move, okay, let's see. Now I have 2 planes that are sticked to these inner faces. Let's try, it's a try. And I have another plane, and they are parallel, and they have an offset in between. That is, they are through the point. Let's see if this is a parameter. So first of all, I will remove these. I will remove this dimension here. Ah, no, it's still there. Okay, just write 72 for now, and purge unused. So remove it. So now let's see if I can, I should add a dimension from here to here, but how? I told you I've lost the fate, and I'm pretty skeptical. No. I'm really skeptical, but I can. Let me see one thing, something to the coil. 3 seconds. Coil size, coil ends, start. Okay, coil size. Spiral. No. Revolution and height. It's fine. Output. Okay. This is fine. Now I just need to add a parameter from here. But why is not working? Let's see this. If I make a sketch and I make it here like this, but then I should make that this point is coincident here and this point is coincident there, and then I should measure these it is a driven dimension. Okay. And let's see, I think it's the same, and the driven dimension is called the D21. So let's see if I type here D21. Oh my good gosh. No, I'm telling you, I have no ideas. It should work perfectly also, and it should be just that. Or wait, let's see this. Let's delete this plane. Okay, let's make this plane here. Okay, let's make an offset from this plane. The distance will be D21, and this works. So if I make, I mean, in here it works, but just it doesn't work for the coil, and I don't understand why. And this is something that really upset me, because if I go here and I type D21, it looks like it is working. Let's make 5 revolution. Let's see if, no, a cyclical constraint dependency was detected. No, I gave up. I know that I will spend then the entire afternoon fixing it, so be so nice. Let's forget these last 10 minutes and I will fix it, but this afternoon, so after 6, believe it or not, I will upload a video where I will show you how I will fix it, okay? Because now it is a personal thing between me and the coil that has to work as I want. It has to be like this. So when I move these, it moves, and if I open the spring, okay, and I double click and I return, no, it's not even more updated. So I will fix it, trust me, but I will fix it. I have to fix it because it's something that will drive me crazy, okay? So for now, this is enough, and check this channel this evening or tomorrow morning at last, and believe it or not, I will show you that it has to work as I want, because if not, I won't be happy, okay? And also, this can be a positive message that shows you that sometimes I can struggle too in using softwares, okay? So you are not alone in this world. Is it okay? And with this epic failure, I will finish the today class, and next week you have to present your phenomenal final projects. So we have to we will discuss. I will show them all of your projects in the live. We will discuss. I will open them all. You will be able to make me questions, and we have a discussion like this. Okay. If you have also prepare a Skype account, so that if you want maybe to talk in real life, I can also open a Skype call while I'm streaming YouTube. Let's see if I will make my computer exploding. Okay? And next time, but in a couple of, I mean, not a couple of hours because I have other 2 classes, but later today or tomorrow morning at last, I will fix these horrible adaptive cyclical thing happening. Okay? And also because, look, if it just wasn't a spring, but if I edit these, look, just because this is a coil, it just doesn't work. Because if I make any other object, like I make an extrusion from this plane, look, if I make a sketch in here, no, make a sketch. If I make a sketch in this plane, no? And I make it like this. And I make the extrude, and I make the distance 2. So I set that I want to go to this plane here. And now, I mean, no, come on, it is not my day. Nothing is working anymore. So let's say the profile is this. Okay, and then I want to go to this plane. Exactly, this works. Okay, and because the distance between these 2 planes is managed by this number, if I change this position, somehow there should be something like refresh somewhere that I'm not finding, but I will fix it. Believe it or not, yes, this is best class. This is called an epic failure. I know you have fun of me, okay, but at least you will see that I'm a human being as well, so I can also struggle. Okay, let's see if I make, no way, that is so annoying. Okay, so thank you so much for being so patient and following this class. That was very nice. Just the end is just drifted to the failure, but I will fix it. Okay? So, see you next week. Bye, everyone.